I'm Richard Milne, I'm the Nordic and Baltic correspondent at the Financial Times. Well, we just had dinner in Helsinki in the FT and HP CIO Series 2015, Evolution and Disruption. We really focused around two issues. The first one was the role of the CIO and how that was changing, and it was a great discussion, but it led very, very quickly into the idea of disruption. The very nature of the role, the very nature of these companies changing and being disrupted, a question of whether these companies were fast enough in innovation, and there were some very interesting ideas. We had some industrial companies talking about setting up startup labs. I think there was a feeling that a lot of industries were changing very much. We're, a very traditional company talking about no longer looking at competitors so much, but looking at little startups for new ideas, and this trying to balance between the sort of bread and butter of the CIO role in the past of running the IT systems and the more innovative, disruptive side, and the tensions in a way between the two roles, because the traditional IT role was very much a sort of risk-averse role, and the kind of innovative startup side is very much about risk-taking. And some open questions as well as to whether people were able to do it. There were some companies, for instance, that wouldn't allow people under 30 into their startup labs or things like that. And then the second main issue we discussed was cybersecurity. Surprisingly for me, actually, everybody said this was something that was very high up on board agendas. All the boards wanted to know about this. There was maybe a question about how much was, really understood about it. And that led very quickly into a discussion about big data and a feeling that maybe Europe is at a competitive disadvantage to the US, where you had a lot of big US companies, not just the tech companies, owning a lot of data and using it in very interesting ways, and in Europe just not being able to do that at all. So overall there was a sort of an evening with mixed messages. There was some optimism, there was some sort of pessimism, and it kind of fitted in well because we're actually just a couple of days from the Finnish elections, and there was similarly optimism and pessimism about that.
My name is Tiina Tauru. I work for HP. I lead the enterprise services here in Finland and for Baltics. I think there is a lot of discussion about digital internet coming into the picture and meaning of that to all the businesses. Even if you go beyond the retail and banking, where you have seen this digital internet coming into the picture already. If you go to traditional manufacturing, that is coming to the show. So what is required from the CIOs today is actually that you need to maintain the legacy environment, and also at the same time you need to be the one giving the new ideas to the business, how they're going to utilize the internet. So I think that the thinking what we are having is that you can either separate that into two roles. You can have a CIO, CDO, because it might be Chief Digital Officer being the CDO. It might be so that you need totally different kind of personalities for each of these activities.
Mika Sarhimaa, Managing Director for Hewlett-Packard Finland and Baltics. I think it will definitely change, so it will go either the direction of optimizing the existing more and more standardized platform delivery as a kind of a shrinking part of the role, and then the new responsibilities or opportunities in developing the role towards the direction of managing the change of digitalization in the industry. Depends a lot of a company structure, the business how they will use the capability of the CIO, but definitely the competence is needed and in a bigger amount every year.
Well, I think that the CIOs are really understanding the importance, especially of our geographical location, because we have Russia here, then there is all these things with the US, so it is very important for us, especially for the companies. On the other hand, the board of management seems to be a bit like ticking the box, not really thinking about what should be invested. We have done some studies within HP on this topic, and worldwide, it takes 364 days to discover that you have been attacked. So I think that the companies are not really buying into this as seriously as they should.
They would need to kind of approach it from external to internal, instead of thinking about internal stuff, what we can change. I mean, the look of what IT is delivering today is more business intelligence than big data. It's not bringing in new elements or new components of data and combining it with the existing base. But if we look at the digitalization change for the businesses, it will come from the external activities. And I think the CIOs, they just need to build their own vision, what's going to happen in the world of their business, and what steps they will take. And that means also that if you compare the other role where you need to standardize, minimize the cost, minimize the risk, the other area is vice versa. You need to be able to think big, even in the cost side, but also in the opportunity and the business case side. So I think that will be a kind of multipolar role, which creates a big opportunity for individuals.